Okay, so if you're just joining us, we warmed up with some box breathing. 4 rounds, 4 counts, where we inhale for 4 seconds, hold the breath for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold it again for 4 seconds. 4 rounds, 4 counts. That's where we are at. That's where we are starting. So if you're just joining in on this class, I didn't hit the recording at the beginning. So hit pause, do your 4 rounds of 4-second box breathing, and then rejoin us. That box breathing is, again, an inhale for a set number of seconds, and a hold for a set number of seconds, and exhale to empty all the way out for the same number of seconds, and then holding that emptiness, that not collapsed lung, but empty lungs, lifted lungs for those 4 seconds, and then a reset. Okay, good. So if you are finished with those, if you've been with us from the beginning, we're gonna transition to some cat-cows. So roll over onto all 4s for me. Okay, we've warmed up our lungs, we're gonna warm up our spine. Go ahead and find a spot, hands and knees. Actually going to do a little demoing. Hands and knees, we've got our hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath hips, tabletop position, or cat-cow. From this position, I want you to think about drawing the front of your hip bones together to activate your core, not necessarily sucking in or up, but bringing the front of your pelvis together with your muscles. Okay, if that sensation's not happening yet today, don't worry about it. Hands underneath the shoulders, we have a soft bend to the elbows. I'm not cranking my arms and my shoulders like so. Elbows point out towards the sides of the room. All 10 fingertips on the ground, pressing in. So you almost feel like you have a little bit of a tenting happening to your palms. Fingers point straight ahead at 12 o'clock. All the 10 fingers press into the ground. So we have this teeny tiny little lift in the palms. This is going to help engage your shoulder and your neck deep core muscles. Okay. We're looking somewhere about maybe 2 feet out in front of us. So that helps us keep a neutral spine. Press the top of your shins, the shins and the top of the feet down into the ground, and see if that helps you feel this lift or cinching in your pelvis. Okay. Okay, from here we'll go into what y'all remember. Exhale and look up in front of you, look up to the ceiling if you can, let your spine sink against gravity. Inhale and press. Or is it the other way around? It doesn't really matter. Inhale and exhale deeply and move with your breath. You finish an inhale or an exhale before you move on to the next motion. Some nice gentle cat-cows. If you feel like as we're waking up, we need to shift side to side. Maybe we need a little more side body rib cage opening. That is something you can add in. Moving crown of the head to tip of the tailbone. So when I'm pressed up into my cat, the angry cat, I'm pressing between the shoulder blades up at the highest point, but I'm tucking my chin and I'm tucking my tail. When I sink down, I let my chest and my belly hang softly towards the ground. And I'm trying to look up in front and lift my tailbone to the ceiling as well. We're gonna thread the needle here. So coming back to neutral, your right arm is going to reach up towards the ceiling, opening up your chest. And then that arm is going to thread through that opening between hand and knee. Shoulder comes down and taps the ground, ear rests on the floor. Notice if your hips have shifted over to the left, bring them back to the right. Oh, and feel that stretch between the shoulder blades. Good. We're going to do that 3 times on the same side, 3 in a row on the same side. So my right arm reaches up. It threads through, shoulder and ear rest. If the hips shifted to the left, bring them back to the right, and then really feel that stretch in the upper back. Beautiful, one more time. Open up, thread through. Maybe add a big exhale there. Good, let's do the other side, 3 on the other side. So left arm opens up, needle threads. Shoulder and ear come and relax on the floor. I feel a stretch in the back of my shoulder. Pull your hips back over to the left. Oh yeah, and really feel that stretch happen in the upper back. Reach open. One last time. Inhale to open. Exhale, thread that needle. Empty all that air out. Really pull the hips back to the left to feel that stretch in the upper back. Good. Shake it out. Come back and sit on your heels if you can. Shake out the arms. We're going to do some more cat-cowing from this kneeling position. Okay. If this is too hard on your knees, grab a pillow to put between your butt and your heels. Okay. Let's see. There we go. If I can only get to here, put a pillow here so you are supported. Okay. If we can get here, good. Great stretch for the knees, great stretch for the ankles. Okay. Give me a couple shoulder rolls up towards the ears and then down your back. We're going to come into kind of like a cactus roll with the arms. Shoulders are going to come up. You're going to inhale. Arms are going to open. You're going to exhale and try to press your chest towards the wall in front of you. Look up at the ceiling. Hands come into this cactus position on that exhale. I'm going to do a couple rolls like that. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, open, arc the back. Good. You might notice that your pelvis is shifting with this movement. That's totally fine. Okay, so we're kind of recreating a different cat-cow experience. Let's do 3 more of those. Inhale, exhale. And on these exhales, I want you to inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and make some sort of a noise. We're going to do 3 more together. A fogging of the mirror. You can stick your tongue out. It can be a hissing noise. It can be a word. It can be a sound. Anything. So inhale through the nose. Exhale, look up. Good. I feel like you need to grab the arms behind you and exhale. Stretch that out a little bit more. You can. 2 more. Good. You should feel a little bit more comfortable looking up or back behind you after those. Beautiful. Come back to all fours, and we're going to go through that one more time. Really opening up the thoracic spine and the chest before we add in any core work. I had somebody in the other day, and they had a lot of things going on, and it's like, okay, so then what do I do for homework? If there's one thing that you can do to improve your body's biomechanics and the way your core is functioning, it's first and foremost, make sure that that middle part of your spine and your shoulders are moving well. We spend too much time sitting, looking down at phones and computers and breastfeeding babies that lock up this middle back. Okay, so we're going to cat-cow it, pressing all 10 fingertips into the ground so we have a little bit of a tent to the hands. That's going to help us get our shoulders and our neck turned on in the right way. shins and the top of the feet press into the ground. It's gonna help us lift our pelvis while we go through some flexion and extension. Notice if you can get your spine moving a little bit more than before, or maybe not, maybe it's still waking up. Shifts side to side if you would like. If you would like a count, let's do 6. In each direction. When you sag, let gravity just sink you down. When you press up between the shoulder blades and really arch your back. Beautiful. About 6 of those. Anytime I give you a number, it's a suggestion. If you feel great after 3, you want to stop at 3, that's fine. Okay. Let's thread the needle. Let's do 3 more in each direction. You can alternate sides or you can do all 3 same side. I like doing all 3. Reach up towards the ceiling. My right arm is up, then my right arm threads. My right shoulder drops down to the ground. My head relaxes. I'm gonna pull my hips back over to the right. To really feel that stretch. They're gonna wanna shift over to the left-hand side. It's okay that they do, just pull it back. Right. Open and lift. Reach across and through. Pull the hips back. Exhale as you thread. I'm going to sit onto heels. And we're going to do these little cat cows with an added cactus arms, or grabbing the hands or interlacing the fingers behind the back. So an inhale and a shoulder roll. Let's do 6. Some sort of an exhale through an open mouth with some sort of a noise. It could just be the sound of your breath coming out. If you have any pelvic floor tightness or weakness, could be the same thing. You want to open up the mouth, stick out the tongue, give it a stretch while you make that big exhale noise. Seems weird, nobody's watching you. Feels really good. Good. Maybe some shoulder swings afterwards. Fit in the chair. Feels good. Right. Okay. Let's warm up the hips. Hips and core time. Okay. We've done some upper body work. So we're going to come back to the all fours position and kickstand one leg out to the side. I did my right one first. So I'm kneeling on my left leg. I've got my right leg just kicked straight out to 3 o'clock. I'm looking at 12 o'clock. I'm at like 3:30. 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, somewhere in there. Okay. You don't need to go above 90 degrees here. You don't need to go to 2 o'clock. Right? From here, you can play around with, okay, what feels best in my hip with my foot positioning? Knife edge, big toe on the ground, or flat foot? Where do I feel this stretch more? Right? We can change this up as we do these rock backs. So adductor rock backs, we're going to take a big breath in. I've still got my fingertips tinted, or my palms tinted a little bit. My fingers are pressing into the ground. I'm going to breathe in to my belly. And then send my hips back towards my butt. Only as far as you can go until you feel like you just can't go any farther, because this is probably pretty tight, okay? So let's do 10 of these on this side to start. It's better to start small and then go deeper, okay? When you're inhaling and exhaling, it doesn't really matter, but if you want a cue, inhale when you're up in all fours, exhale as you rock back. If you can get all the way down to where your butt hits your heel, fantastic. But that's not necessarily where everyone needs to be for this. Okay. I'm going to keep this leg straight. It's kicked out to the side. Good. Slowly bring that leg back in, shake it out if you need to as you transition. You can totally even come up to a stand and shake everything out if you need to. Good. We're going to switch to the other side. No big difference in one leg versus the other. Okay, so kickstand it out. It may not go to, now we're looking at 9 o'clock. It may not go to 9 o'clock if it's tighter. You may need to start back at 8 o'clock. Play around with first that foot positioning. Again, that can change as you do these. Maybe do the first 5 with the foot on a knife edge. Maybe you do the next 5 with the foot flat. Big belly breath in. And shoot those hips back towards your booty. Maybe about 10. If you can go all the way back to where your butt hits your heel, and then you want to hang out there for a couple breaths, it's also an option here to play around with. These movements, these classes, and really anytime you move your body, exercise or just movement, is a time for you to have a conversation with your body. What does it need? What are you feeling? One side may be completely different than the other. Okay. Good. And then we're going to keep ourselves in this all fours position. We're going to start to engage the core and move. Okay. So we've got hips warmed up. We've got thoracic spine open. We're going to start to do some bird dogs. So I want you to start, just jump right in to opposite arm, opposite leg. Before any movement happens, I want you to think about pressing into the ground with your right hand and left knee. So the opposite hand and knee just come to a hover. Once they are hovering, then they can extend out in front and back behind. Okay, so that's what we think of first. When I'm in my all fours, I take a big belly breath in, capture that air and hold it. It doesn't mean I'm holding my breath, but then hover and float the opposite arm, opposite leg. Once it's hovering, then it can move. Okay, we should feel this really activate our core, and we're going to squeeze our booty muscles to extend those arms and legs out. All right, let's play around. We're going to shift opposites. Let's do 10 total, 5 on each side. Intentionally coming to a hover first before you move. 3, 4, hover, and extend. 5. Again, these numbers are just suggestions. You can take breaks as you need to. If you find yourself holding your breath, take a break. You want to be able to breathe as we move through these. Inhale, hover, extend, exhale. Inhale, brace, 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 push into the floor, hover, extend, exhale. Good. If you're taking breaks, or if you're done with your 10 and then it's really time to take a break, tuck your toes in a kneeling position. And then try to sit back, and we're going to stretch out the arch of the foot and the big toe. Core work involves all of our deep, deep structures, deep tissues that run from the big toe all the way up into your jaw and your tongue. They're all part of your core. Okay, so I'm doing some sitting up and then rocking back, feeling a really deep, intense stretch in the arch of my foot and my big toe. Good. Beautiful job on those bird dogs. Let's flip it over for some dead bugs. All of the boring things that nobody likes to do on their own. Okay. Same principles are going to apply here when we're on our back for dead bugs as when we're on all fours for bird dogs. So I'm going to actually move this camera down. Bear with me. Much better angle. Okay. So I'm setting up for my dead bugs. My head is flat on the ground. I want to position my rib cage so it's stacked on top of my pelvis. So the first thing that I'm going to do here after I get my arms and my legs up in the air, okay, a traditional dead bug is 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees. We like to put the knees or turn the knees out a little bit so your knees are wider than hips. Knees are wider than hips. Feet are a little bit higher than knees. Okay, just having my legs up, I already feel my core turning on. Back to what I was saying about the rib cage. Rib cage stacked on top of pelvis. So I want you to put your hands right here at the bottom of your ribs. If you want to put your legs down for a break for just a second, that's fine. Rib cage at the hands at the bottom of the rib cage. There should be a ridge here. I want you to think about pulling with your muscles, pulling this rib ridge down towards your pubic bone, towards the front of your pelvis. Okay. Similar to how when we were in all fours, you were trying to get the front of your pelvis to pull in together, which we can still do here. But now I want the focus ribs down towards your pelvis. Okay. That may flatten the low back a little bit. And that's good. Okay. So legs up. We're going to warm up our breath here first with the right positioning. Legs up, hands on the rib cage, bring those ribs down towards your pelvis. Feel that contract your core. It makes your core ready, or it should make your core ready to get jumped on. Okay. If you've got a dog or a kid that could enter at any second. Okay. From here, our hands can stay on your core. just for some feedback. I love that. And then we're going to practice breathing. In through your nose, out through your nose this time. Okay. Do 5 good deep breaths. Trying to breathe into our belly. With our rib cage stacked over pelvis, we should feel our breath expand into our low back as well. Five of those, and then drop the legs and relax. You may need another good morning stretch here. Maybe the hips need to shift side to side. Do what you need to do. Bring some awareness to your body and what it's telling you. Okay? What I'm telling you to do are just suggestions. All right, let's move with this. We're just going to do some dead bug legs. Unless you feel really comfortable doing the arms. But if you've never played around with this rib cage pulled down to your pelvis before. So I'm here, if I'm here, I have some extension. My ribs are up and open, they're flared. As I'm bringing this rib cage down towards my pelvis, my low back is going to flatten and my core automatically turns on. And then it's much easier to get the legs up in the air. If you've never played around with this before, keep your hands here for some feedback. And we're just going to do some heel taps. I'm going to take that big breath in, expand into the belly and the low back. One leg at a time is going to tap down to the ground. I'm not extending my knee. I'm not straightening my knee. I'm lowering the leg down to the ground so that my heel taps, or maybe I only get halfway. You're only going as far as you can until you feel this give up on you, okay? This is very hard to do and breathe and brace at the same time. Let me shift this way a little bit. Let's try for 10, 5 each side. Take breaks as you need to. The most important thing that's happening here is what's happening here. Core, belly, ribcage, not the movement of your legs. Ribcage gets pulled down, big belly down, and we're going to work these heel taps. The movement comes from the hip. As your left leg moves down, it's really important that your right ribcage get pulled down and in. When your right leg taps down, pull the left ribcage down and in. You may also want to play around, if you've done these before, where the knees are out wide. You can play around with having them at 90 degrees. See what feels best for your body. I can do these with my legs in a tabletop position, 90-90. And heel tap, that might be a little bit easier, actually. Or I can have my knees out and flared and then tap. Whew. Make sure you are breathing and your shoulders are down away from your ears. You've probably done about 10. Okay, let's reconnect with our breath here. Feet come together. I'm in like a butterfly position. This can be supported or open. So you can grab some pillows to put them underneath your knees. So there's some support there. We could just even be in a deep squat kind of positioning, feet flat on the ground, knees wide. That works too. Butterfly. We're going to reconnect with our breath. 5 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Making some sort of a noise. Did your shoulders creep up towards your ears? Pull those down. When you're done with those 5 breaths out through your mouth, soften your breath. So bring it back to just in and out through your nose. And just notice where that breath goes. Is it going down into your belly? Is it still hanging out up here in your chest? Maybe you want to change the leg positioning here. Whatever feels good. These are your 10 breaths to draw attention and some introspection back into your body and the room. What do you feel on the mat? What do you feel against your body? So some external feelings. What do you feel? Do you feel your pajamas? Do you feel your workout clothes? Do you feel the hardwood floor underneath you? Do you feel a soft, cushy carpet and yoga mat? What do you feel inside of your body? Maybe that coffee is rumbling around in your tummy. Maybe you still feel some tension in your jaw or your neck. Maybe you feel really relaxed. We just did a great breath and flow class. What do you feel in here? Tapping into the other senses can help us with these 3 components of what we feel. What do you see right now? Maybe it's the back of your eyelids. Maybe your eyes are closed. What do you see? Ceiling fan, lights. What do you hear? Maybe nothing. Maybe silence. It's beautiful. Maybe the hum of the air conditioning. What do you smell? If I was at home, I'd be smelling wet dog. What do you taste? There's that coffee or toothpaste or nothing. What do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you feel? What do you taste? I think I got them all right. I always have to count back through and I'm always missing one. Tap into your 5 senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? What do you feel? There's 3 components to feeling. Big giant inhale. Exhale it all out. Empty. Beautiful. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock back and forth. Side to side, up and down. Whatever you feel like you need. Roll to one side. And that is that, ladies.